Hey, what's up guys, Schmidt here, welcome back to another video. Today we are doing the 3,000 subscriber Q&A. So in my last video, I had you guys leave questions in the comment section for this Q&A. You guys left quite a few. I think we have 13 at least comments that I picked out, and some of you guys asked a few in those comments. So we've got a pretty decent list to go through, so let's get right into your guys' questions. So the first one we have here is from Dying Food. He says, congrats dude, my question is, what are your top 5 video games of all time? So the thing about this list is I can pretty easily give you a couple of them in the top 5, and then like the other ones could probably switch just depending on what day you asked me. Because I play so many different games. You guys, of course, like pretty much see me only play Call of Duty, but I have played a ton of games in my life, and I still play a ton of games each and every day. And so this is a bit hard for me to do, but I'm going to give you my list 5 through 1 right now. At number 5, you guys saw me do a video on this game. It's Detroit Become Human. Now, if I was to sit down and critically think for hours and hours on end about my top 5 games, maybe this one wouldn't quite make the cut, but I just feel like it had to. It's a game that's still fresh in my mind. The story was absolutely incredible, and it's a story that you can change and have millions of different outcomes every time you play through it. The story hit hard emotionally. It was very easy to attach to every single character in the game. I thought the length of the game was perfect. You know, it wasn't a game that you finished in just a few hours, and it wasn't a game that took you weeks and weeks on end to finish. I think it was the perfect length. Just overall, it was an amazing game. Beautiful graphics, just everything about the game I loved. It is without a doubt my pick for game of the year, and so I'm going to put that game at number 5. Number 4, I'm going to get so much hate for this. I got to put Fortnite on this list. I'm sorry. I know with a lot of Call of Duty fans on my channel, a lot of people aren't going to like this pick, but I have to put this game at number 5. My main criteria for putting games in like a ranked list for me is the time I've spent playing them with other people and the amount of fun I've had doing so. And for me, Fortnite has to be on that list just solely because of that reason. I have played Fortnite almost exclusively with friends. I have to have 12 to 15 days somewhere in that area already played on this game. I have had so much fun, so many great times and memories playing this game with friends. Now, if you were to, you know, go deep down in and critique this game and say, you know, does it have everything you could ever want out of a video game? You know what? Maybe not. But with my main criteria being like just how much fun I've had playing the game with friends, I feel like Fortnite has to be on this list. At number 3, this is going to be a pretty broad answer, but at number 3, I'm going to put sports games. I could go down a massive list on all the different sports games I've played, and I could probably give you the year in which each one was my favorite of each sport. But instead of going through a list and just giving you all different sports, I'm just going to put this generically at sports games. My favorite one would be MLB. That's my favorite sport video game to play. But I mean, I've played everything from MLB to 2K to Madden to Tiger Woods to FIFA. I played it all. At number 2, I'm going to put Black Ops 3. Now again, this is the kind of list to where I could probably put like multiple Call of Duties on here if I really wanted to, but I'm just going to go with one, and my top favorite one is Black Ops 3. It has my most time played. It's got my highest rank up. I've got nearly most of the weapons in that game. And again, so much time played with friends, doing so many different game types, game modes, whether it was just pub match, whether it was competitive playing GBs or ranked play or whatever it was. But at number 1, I have to put Halo 3. I don't think this will ever come off of the top spot. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm a massive Halo fan. Halo 3 by far being my favorite game. When I got my Xbox 360 back like almost 10 years ago, it was the first game I got because I was already a massive Halo fan from the original Xbox. Halo 3 was great. It was some of my first experience playing a game online. I played through the campaign hundreds of times. It's just, Halo 3 is a fantastic game. We also had Elite Edits asked the question of what is your favorite game of all time, so that would still stay the same as Halo 3. Next question from FIFA Gamer. He says, who is your favorite superhero from both Marvel and DC? Now, this probably was one of the more difficult questions to answer because I'm not a superhero guy in any facet at all. So I had to like Google the superheroes from each of these genres. So I'm just gonna give you Iron Man and Batman, bro. Like I guess that's just what I would go with. I'm not a big superhero guy. Wolfman asks, which NBA team do you support? Of course, top of the line would be the hometown Detroit Pistons. All the Detroit teams I support for being the hometown team. The Tigers, the Lions, Pistons, all of them. Obviously, I think that goes without saying. Hopefully I get to see a championship from one of those teams sometime in my life. But and this is gonna be something else to get some hate for. I'm also a pretty big supporter of the Golden State Warriors, largely in part part due to Steph Curry. He's my favorite player, so kind of by default, I end up rooting for the Warriors. I know, much like Call of Duty, it's fun to hate on the Warriors just because they're the top dog. But sorry, when your favorite player plays on the team, I mean, you're kind of defaulted to root for him. Next question from Confident Noob says, hey Schmitty, I love your videos and been subbed since around 1.4K, but anyway, my questions for you are, 1, what made you start YouTube? And 2, how old were you when you lost your virginity? Obviously, you don't have to answer this question. You know, I'm glad you put that little tidbit at the end of the second question, but it's not like you would have had to anyway, because I am not going to answer that question or get into that. However, I will answer your first question and what got me started into YouTube, and I think I may have answered this on my last Q&A, but I'm not sure. I'll go over it again. Basically, to kind of give the quick story, I got Guitar Hero back in Christmas. It was over 10 years ago. I got like Guitar Hero for the Nintendo Wii, and when my family came over later that day for Christmas, my uncle was showing me and my family like all these crazy Guitar Hero videos, people getting like 100% on the hardest songs in the game. And of course, these videos were on YouTube, so that is kind of how I learned of the site. Later on, a couple years down the line, I ended up just like finding different kinds of gaming videos, of course, games like Call of Duty, and that's when I found the YouTuber Chris Smoove. Now, if you've watched YouTube for a long time, then you know who Chris Smoove is. He used to do Call of Duty and NBA 2K commentaries back in the day. He still does 2K, and he does like real life NBA videos as well. He doesn't play Call of Duty anymore, but that's kind of what got me into Call of Duty and what got me thinking like, I would love to do Call of Duty commentary someday, and fast forward, and here we are. All right, this next question, I'm sorry, I am not going to try and pronounce your name, just purely for the fact of I don't want to butcher it. Anyway, the question asks, what is the most important thing in your life? And this Q&A went from a little fun to kind of deep real quick, but I would say that one of the most important things to me in my life is maintaining happiness in no matter what I do, and no matter what like kind of choices I'm trying to make in my life. I always try to make sure like whatever I'm doing, I think to myself, is this something that's going to make me happy? Is this something that I'm going to enjoy down the road, you know, not just now, but later on down in life? And like, is this something that I'm going to be happy with in life? Because even if a decision may on paper look better to other people, if it's not something that's going to make me happy, then why would I go out and do it? It's the same reason I do YouTube and put a lot of time and effort into all the videos, is because I have fun doing it and it makes me happy to do it. The other thing, if I had to give something else, and this kind of goes along with it, but maintaining other people in your life. Now, to some people, I may be slightly introverted. I guess it just depends on who you ask. I feel like I can fit either side of that, to be honest with you. But I feel like you'd classify me as that just simply for the fact of like, if you were to put me alone with nobody else for like a week, I don't think it would faze me at all. Whereas like some people like constantly need someone else there around them. But even though I'm kind of that way, it is great to have other people around, to have other people to talk to, friends, family, whatever it may be. It's just very important. And so always maintaining a good group of people, whether it's one or whether it's 10 or however many it is, it's very important to keep those kind of people around you and people that will support you no matter what. Mr. Lemon Squares asks, games you like besides Call of Duty? Now, I kind of went through this with the top 5 list, but to give some other games that weren't on that list, I play like Rocket League, Battlefield, Rainbow Six Siege. I play some racing games here and there, but not a whole lot. Honestly, if it's a solid game, I like shooters and I like sports games, of course. But if it's a solid game around any of those genres, or if it's like a good story mode game, then I will have no problem playing it. Nightmare says, congratulations, bro. What is your favorite gun and map in Call of Duty ever? My favorite gun in Call of Duty of all time is the ACR 6.8 from MW3. If I had to pick one map just to give to you, and it's just the map that comes to mind when I think of a map I always got excited to play, was Infection from Black Ops 3. I know that's not like everybody's generic like Raid or Standoff or High Res or Terminal, but that's just the map that comes to mind to me for a map that I always got excited to play. J-Twist says, show us your gaming setup. Alright, so I've done like a setup video. I think I just did one like 4 months ago, but to be honest, I have switched some stuff around, so hey, what's up? Hello. Yo. But I used to have the monitor that's right here. I used to have that over here. And then the TV was like over here, and the TV, for those of you that don't know, works as like my second screen for my computer. But yeah, I mean, I have a setup video from like 4 months ago if you want to go check that out, but really the only thing that's changed since then is I just switched some stuff around, make it not as weird, because the TV was just in a weird spot over here off to the side, and The monitor works fine just off to the side over here. But if you want to know more about like all the specific equipment and stuff, and you want to get more in depth than that, just go watch that setup video. All right, next up we have Johnny O. He says, hey man, congrats, I just found your channel. My question is, what other hobbies do you have besides gaming? Well, obviously YouTube and creating content, but other than that, really one of my only other big hobbies is sports. Whether it's playing them, I don't play them near as much as I used to, but I am still playing in a baseball and a softball league and stuff like that. I love watching sports. It's probably the only thing left on TV that I actually even care to watch anymore. But other than that, I don't have like a long list of just all kinds of different hobbies and things that I do. I mean, it essentially comes down to like video games, YouTube, sports. Any mix of those three somehow is pretty much my main hobbies. Weeboo Jr. says, do you think you will ever get around 20k views consistently in the future? Also, do you like pineapple pizza? Apparently, it's good. So the first question, I mean, I would like to think that at some point in the future that I could consistently get around that number of views. I mean, that's quite a few views to get consistently. I mean, hopefully one day. I'm not gonna sit here and hold my breath, but, you know, gonna hopefully work for it and see what we can do. And the second question, do not, for the love of God, put pineapple on pizza. Crust, meat, cheese, sauce. That's what goes on pizza. Stop getting ridiculous with it. Stop putting your buffalo chicken, your pineapple, your all this other ridiculous stuff on pizza. Pizza, man, like your basic pizza meats, your meat, cheese, sauce, all that stuff. Like, just stop with the ridiculous pineapple crap. Next up, Supreme Boy Plays says, favorite hat. So I'm going to bring you guys to just the right of my setup. So you guys always see this over here in like the backdrop of all my face cams and stuff. You see this long list of hats back here. But what you guys don't always see is this stack of hats over here. And these are more of the main hats, the hats that I wear more often, the ones you guys see in videos more often and stuff like that. I think I have upwards between that, and there's a few more in the closet up there. But I think I have upwards of like 40 some hats or something, and I don't think I really have a specific favorite. It just kind of depends on the day, the kind of color drop I'm feeling. I don't know. I like all my hats. I like having a different variety of hats. I mean, if you look, they're all like different colors and all for different teams and whatever else brand they represent. And finally, from Father Adam Drake, shout out, call me the Wiz. I have 5 questions for you in order of importance. Oh boy. So do these go in order from like 1's most important or 5's most important? Anyway, we'll get into them. Number 1, why do you constantly hide your sexual attraction to Or Ton of Fun? You know, I wouldn't say I hide my attraction to Orton. I don't say that's something I do. Maybe I don't go out about it in the most obnoxious of ways, but I don't think it's something I necessarily hide. If you ever had 1 million subs, what's the weirdest way it would change your life? I think that it would, the weirdest thing for me, if I was to think about it, would be just like doing this and doing it as a job instead of just something fun or as a hobby. I feel like that would be really weird. I think it'd also be really weird to have that amount of people just checking in on your videos every day, and just having that many supporters and that many people following you, I think is weird as is. But I think those are kind of the 2 main things. Other than that, I think my life would remain relatively the same. Number 3, did you ever set hard goals for your channel when you started, or do you have some now? I always feel like my goals are pretty difficult. I've always had really high expectations for myself, whether it's something just as simple as like making a perfect video and editing it perfectly each time to how I want it and how I pictured it before. I always want like every video of mine to be like the next viral video or the next 100,000 viewed video like I've had before, even though obviously that's not realistic. I think the one goal that I've always had in the back of my mind though, and I think this goes for all YouTubers, is 1 million subs. I feel like that is just the ultimate validation and the ultimate, I guess, milestone for each creator is 1 million. I'm not going to say like I've always expected me to be able to hit that number. I mean, I would like to think so, but you know, when you start getting into it and start doing it for a while, you realize that it's not that easy of a goal to achieve. In fact, it's a near impossible goal to achieve. I'm still hoping that one day we can do that. Obviously, seeing where the channel's at now, it looks as though like that is completely out of the question to ever happen, but you never know. YouTube is a weird thing, and maybe if I just get lucky enough, somehow it could possibly happen. But I think really, as far as hard goals, is I feel like every single day I set hard goals or hard expectations on myself for creating content, or even if I'm not doing YouTube, it's just something else that I put those high expectations on. I've just always been that way. Number 4, what's the strangest thing you've ever eaten? I'm a pretty picky eater, so I don't really eat anything strange or that out of the ordinary. The first thing that comes to mind is like during the wintertime, my grandpa will come over and he'll make this like homemade hot chocolate, and we'll buy like this stack of rolls from Walmart or something, and we'll take the rolls and we'll butter them up and we will dip them in the hot chocolate and eat them, and that'll be like our breakfast every now and then whenever he decides to do it. It's not the weirdest or the grossest thing in the world, but that's the first thing that came to my mind. I don't really eat anything all that weird, I don't feel like. And the final question, do you pronounce penis like penis or penis? I feel like any of the three is an acceptable pronunciation. I always typically tend to go with penis, just, you know, with a hard P in there, you know, just like really emphasize penis. But there's something about the physique and the pizzazz when you say penis. I feel like that's a really solid way to say that. Anyway, that's going to do it for the 3K Q&A, guys. Thanks so much for submitting the questions. And thank you guys again for 3,000 subscribers. Here's to the next milestone. And we hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to smack the Schmidt add a like button down below. If you guys are new to the channel, look forward to more video game content. You guys are in the right place. Hit the subscribe button down below as well. And turn those notifications on so you guys know when those videos go live. Hope you guys all have a good one. I will see you guys on another video. So long, everybody.